Good afternoon, sports fans from all around the globe. I'm your host, Jeff Dawson of the Breakfast Bankroll. And from Cape Cod to Cancun, from Vegas to the Vatican, we got you covered from start to finish, from overnight lines to opening lines to steam, false steam, you name it, we got it. But today, when this man reaches out and says he's available, you jump on it. And we are blessed, honored, and can't wait to have the man, the real Vegas Dave, Mr. Dave Sharapan. Dave, my brother, what is up?
What's up, Jeffrey? Man, are you dressed up again? I thought we had the strict dress code on here, but that's okay. If you had meetings and stuff, it's all good. What's up?
It's the end of the week. It's a big week around this neck of the woods. You got the hat on, so I'm looking at notes. Where do we start? Where do we finish? But you got the hat on, so let's start there. American League East. Congrats to the Rays. Obviously, they'll be sitting back, and I think that they might be hoping for a 3-team playoff. I said this sarcastically earlier in the week. How about a Jays versus Red Sox? Winner goes to the Bronx. Winner from there goes to Tampa. And there's a team out west called Seattle that's saying, not so fast.
Right.
Tell us what you're thinking.
I can't believe it. It's been awesome. Just absolutely awesome to see what's happening. I mean, it's football season. There's big games every day, every week. And obviously we got the biggest of all big games this week in New England. But the last week, 2 weeks of baseball is as good as any, and it's overshadowed by all this stuff. So I'm focused on the baseball. I love it, especially during the week. And obviously I'm hoping everything is already set. Either the chaos like that for this weekend, or everything's already set by Saturday. And I can just focus on football for 2 days, and then it's all baseball. I mean, October, for me, like during the week and everything, it's all baseball. I can't get enough of it. It's so that when the games are bigger and they mean more, it's just more fun. I mean, just as sports in general. Betting-wise, this stuff baseball still dwarfs in comparison to the football. There's just it's just reality of the situation. People want to watch a football game, but I don't know. You watch the games between the commercials for the books and all the other stuff and the pauses of play and the reviews and the flags. The games take longer than the baseball games, and they do have a clock. Am I right or am I wrong?
100%. 100%.
It's nuts. So, I don't know how this thing's going to shake out, and because Seattle is the complete, for lack of a better term, wild card. What are they doing? They just keep winning, and books haven't adjusted all season. They're still dogs yesterday. I mean, they might have flipped to the small favorite by the time the game started. So Seattle gets to play the Angels this weekend. Ohtani's done playing. He's done pitching. He's still going to hit. They're going to finally be big favorites. We're going to see if Seattle can play their way into this thing. All they got to do, JD, is win 3 games. They win 3 games, I think they're in. But it's 2 out of 3, maybe not. I don't know what's going to happen with the AL East teams. I really thought Boston. I thought the Red Sox were just needed to go maybe 500 this week, and then that would be enough. It might not be enough. I mean, dropping a game to the Orioles, they did themselves no favors. If they won that game just 2 days ago, it would have been better. I don't know, man. I mean, it would be incredibly beneficial for Tampa. And if you have Tampa future tickets right now, you're hoping for your exact scenario. They got to play 3 games to get to start their series, whoever it is. You can just check off the pitching matchups right there. We can't use him. We can't use him. We can't use him. Tampa's good. They'll be happy with that. And then, oh yeah, don't forget that the Astros and the White Sox are going to have to play. Like, how are you going to pick that series? I mean, I got to see the pitching matches, but I mean, how are you going to pick that series, JD?
I was talking earlier in the week with Scotty on the Bankroll, and he's from Tampa, and we got to that matchup, and it looked like he did some look ahead lines, and he actually had Rondon versus McCullers or someone, and it was just like almost like a pick 'em.
Pick 'em.
A Houston minus 110 or 115 at home, and as I said to him, I'm like, you turn the light switch on and the playoffs start, and this Astro team just comes out of nowhere like Mattress Mac. You know he's lurking right now.
He's betting next week. There's no question he's going to be after, the wild card. He'll probably be betting it next week. There's just no question. And again, he's not betting it. He's said it. He's hedging off his furniture promotion. That's what he's doing. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a pick 'em. The series is pick 'em, depending on the pitching matchups. Each game will be minus 120, whoever's home. Like there's no strong favorite there. And then in the NL, I mean, what are we gonna do with this? Like I was up watching the Dodger game last night. They're dead. It's 9-5. Maxie Scherzer looks like, geez, is he your number one? Is he your wild card starter? I don't know. It's a little nerve wracking. Bomb, out, bomb to tie it, double, walk to third because there's a shift, so you don't even cover third on it. He walked to third base. I'd never seen that before. Just walk to third base. Oh, nobody's there. And then Seager hits a bomb again. I mean, and the Dodgers win. There's magic in baseball, I'm telling you. Betting it, I mean, I've had a pretty fun, successful season, but I've been really paying attention. Just another case for, listen, if you're not paying attention and then you're going to just go try to bet the playoffs and jump in, good luck. I'll tip my hat to you and say good luck because this stuff is great, but anything can happen. Anything.
And we just talked for 8 minutes about baseball. Never once mentioned the Brewers, who probably have the best front three in all of baseball, if on, and probably one of the most dominant closers with Hader. Now, let's talk about the knucklehead that decides during the celebration to break his hand, who is their bridge to Hader. Does that do anything moving forward?
I heard it last night, and I'll tell you this. I mean, I call me jaded, whatever. It didn't happen during the celebration in the clubhouse. Like Correct. This, whatever story you want to go with, you punched a wall after you won and clinched the spot in the playoffs. Like, there's more to the story. I don't care about the story. I care about the bridge to Hader just got blown up. You did it successfully all season. It's one of their best strengths. One of the Brewers' best strengths is when you ask everybody, who's got the best bullpen in the National League? Brewers. Who's got the best bullpen in baseball? The Brewers are in the discussion. It's 1, 2, or 3. Like, that's how good. That's what helped them win so many games. And then this happens. And it just kind of goes as a blip on the bottom of the screen. You may see something on SportsCenter if you watch SportsCenter still. But you think the odds makers, I mean, like, what do you put into that? What do you put stock into that? I mean, they're watching, the Jacksonville-Cincinnati line. They're not watching this stuff. Like, so I don't think you'll see that affected as much, but I think that hurts them a lot. I really do. So I don't know how you put that into the numbers, but I know I would think at least maybe during live wagering or even, is it worth 5 cents? I don't know. I love that question. How much is this guy worth to the point spread? I don't know. The betting market will tell me. I think it's worth this, but we're just going to adjust it and see. So there's no one way or, amount for these guys that are telling you that everybody has a value on them. Man, they're full of shit too. This is I don't know. It's maybe they're not taking bets. I can tell you that they're talking about it on content production, but I don't know, man. Milwaukee can't beat St. Louis until St. Louis decided we don't need to. We're good. So yeah, Milwaukee is going to get to play who? Atlanta? That's a tough series. Milwaukee's small favorite, not big. What's going on in Atlanta? Oh, we're just catching fire at the right time. Here comes Fried, dealing at 12-6, looking like Kershaw used to. Oh, they got Jorge Soler who just continues to either hit home runs, doubles, or strike out. But why does he always hit home runs or doubles when they need him to? And then a guy named Duvall.
Oh,
what is he doing in September? Like what is so baseball is so hard. And again, I think for the regular person who just kind of jumps in the excitement of baseball, they start betting like, oh, I'm just betting the Brewers because they have a better record. You better look a little bit deeper, or ask a guy like you. There's resources out there, but I can't wait for October baseball.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this question. If you were holding a Dodgers NL future, if you were holding a Dodgers World Series future, and let's just play the game that I've said now for the last 2 weeks, it's going to be Dodgers Cardinals, Max versus Wainwright, or if they want to move Flaherty in there, fine. Tell everyone listening and watching here what you do if you're holding those. Because I'm assuming I've reached out to a few people. Maybe you can help me here. Dodgers minus 240, 250, somewhere in that area, 235.
Ooh.
Cards plus 205.
Wow. You think it's that high?
I think the books are going to try to cover their butt somehow. They're not going to. You're not going to throw out a Dodgers minus 185, are you?
That's what I would throw out. I would throw it just under $2. Yeah, I wouldn't, especially with Max's last game. Did you see that last night? It was 6 runs, 5 earned, 5 and a third innings. I'd be a little bit nervous. I hope you got a good price on both of those, whatever that price is, but it's probably not high enough right now because you had considered them to be in the divisional series without having to play that wild card. Them having to play the wild card changes everything for those future tickets. I think, one, you better bet St. Louis just for that game. Okay. For something. You have to take a plus because, if they get eliminated in one game, you at least get some money back. If they don't, if the Dodgers play that game and win, okay. Now you have to kind of cost average the series price, or you can kind of individually bet against them in the game. But I think you can just kind of roll the St. Louis, whatever you bet, kind of bet a little bit more, and then you're going to make money. And again, the whole goal of all of this is to make money. I just think if your price is only 3-1 to win the World Series, you're probably going to end up rooting against that ticket if they get there based on the amount that you could win on your hedge. So, you can try to wait until the NLCS, but they may not get there. That's the thing, right?
That's my next question. That was my lead in. Here's my question. Dodgers beat the Cardinals. Dodgers now play the Giants. The team for 6 months, not anyone has given any respect. It's not been if, it's been when the Dodgers are going to not just go by them, but lap them. And now they will have to travel to San Fran. Road team. Dave, you're behind the desk. What is that series price going to be?
San Francisco is a small favorite.
Over the Dodgers.
I think so. Depending, yeah, because they got to not get Scherzer, so they get that other starter, whoever it is.
So
right?
they get a Urias, Bueller. Maybe they slip Max in, and then they get. I mean, or they can wait. And I don't know what their plan is with Kershaw. But the Dodgers beat the Cardinals. Okay,
Yep.
so now we got a best of 7, correct?
Best of 5.
Best
First
of
series
5.
is best of 5.
Okay, this makes
So Dodgers will be small favorites because they get Bueller first. Assume that they think Bueller wins that game. That makes the Dodgers close to probably 180 if they win that. So you will get the Dodgers favored. Small to start, 130 probably. Or some books will say, you know what, the Dodgers are going to win game 1. We better make it 150. They're going to bet them anyway. So they may jump it up. And then if the Dodgers win, and again, these baseball series prices are so much fun because they are very volatile. You can kind of dictate what bets you want in the book. That was always fun for me, where I was like, all right, I think this is the way it's going to move. And the numbers guys, the ARB guys, they're just taking prices. They don't have an opinion. They're just like, oh, look at this book. They put the Giants at plus 200. I got to bet that. Okay. Or wow, they really shorted this price on the Dodgers. It's minus 180 everywhere. These guys got a 160. Well, yeah, I'll bet it. Okay. So that's all that goes on mostly with those situations. It's really interesting because they will have Bueller and then Urias back-to-back on the road. I don't know who they come with in game 3. Because if they split.
If they're up 2-0, they come with Kershaw. If they're 1-1, they can say, well, we can roll out Kershaw and get Max for game 4. If they're down 0-2, it's obviously Max.
Right. Yeah, that's it. You just talked it through. Probably better than Dave Roberts would. That was pretty good. I don't know. That was it. That's exactly what they'll do. That's the scenario. Well, what do the Giants combat that with? I mean, I don't even know.
And then what?
Man, it's hard, right? I don't know. It's obviously. I mean, did you see Alex Wood last night? He looked amazing. Is he a lefty big game pitcher that they could throw?
A little revenge?
That would be. I mean, the angles there are going to be. You want to talk about as good as like a Yankees Red Sox for the fans and the series and the history and all that stuff. Dodgers Giants is baseball out west. I mean, that'll just be electric. It will be just perfect if it happens. It's a shame that it's not the NLCS, but I think that gives you a betting opportunity. Pick the winner of the other series because they're very, very, very live to go to the World Series. I think if you get one of the Giants or the Dodgers against the winner of Milwaukee, Atlanta, in the right scenario, they can win that series and go to the World Series. I mean, that's going to be a real emotional, high to stay on after beating the other team that won 105 games. 2 teams win 105 games in the same division. It's incredible.
You keep mentioning this, and you're so right. People aren't baseball watchers. They're not bettors, wagerers. But once the playoffs comes, they're like, oh boy, here we go.
Oh.
There is nothing better than the start of October, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2 and 3 games around the clock. And playoff baseball, the first pitch, infield hit, guy on first, and it feels like it's the bottom of the 9th. Each pitch, there's nothing better, Dave.
There's nothing like it. It was always one of my favorite months in the book because of the baseball. I mean, we're baseball guys. I mean, all summer we've been watching it, betting it, looking at the lines, and been just, I love watching highlights, reading about guys coming up. Well, in the book, it's for everybody. You're right. Like it literally happens. Like, in the book, the bartenders would be watching it, the customers, everybody during the day glued to it, betting it. And you hear the craziest things. Oh, the Dodgers, they always win. And then they bet $20 on it. Like there's no rhyme or reason, but they bet it because it's the playoffs and it's on. I love it. I mean, there's just between NHL playoff hockey and Major League playoff baseball, the other stuff dwarfs in comparison to it as far as heightened excitement for me. And just like you said, every pitch, every shift in hockey, those two are unparalleled. Give me, some Super Bowls. It's one game. It's this, it's that. And yes, it's exciting. I went to Penn State, and college football games, big college football games are very exciting, but they're usually just like one-offs. Like I don't know. It's different. And I think it lends itself to tremendous wagering opportunities as well, especially in-game stuff. There's all kinds of things going on. I mean, we sat at the book a couple weeks ago in Vegas, and watching the games is as much fun as like betting them and winning money on them, like sitting there talking about it while it's going on. And like, what do you think this line will be? Well, who are they going to throw in game 2 if this happens? It's great stuff, man. Jeff, it's awesome.
No doubt. And I'm not going to put you on the spot because we don't have the matchups. We have no idea what's going to be out there. I still think Monday, maybe Tuesday in the American League, there'll be a play-in game or two, maybe. The locals here, our buddy Matty, I'm pushing the odds. He knows about 98.5. They're just like, they're the ones waiting for the train wreck. They're the ones with the rubbernecks. I know it's great TV. It's great whatever. But the fact that the damn Red Sox gave us 158, 59, 60 games. Yes, they're a year ahead. And yes, you can throw in our faces the fact that we had such a big lead at the All-Star break. Yes, we didn't go out and get a pitcher. Yes, we didn't get Rizzo. Yes, we're trying to get into the playoffs. But you know what? They're here. They're here.
Yeah.
And yet, why not embrace it? I don't get it.
It's just the nature of some cities, right? Boston's up there, Chicago's up there. You just can't really enjoy it. And you can't wait to bring up what could have been instead of what is. And I think both you and I have been in places that I do it every day. I am where my feet are. There's an expression, right? Like, just enjoy the ride right now. And yes, you want them to win, but if they don't, they earned the spot. Whoever wins this thing earned the spot. Okay. Don't forget, you could be San Diego, who had a spot clinched back at the All-Star break. You could be the New York Mets, who were leading the division for like 100 days and are going to finish with an under 500 record. Like, baseball's a long season, and it is the ultimate meritocracy. If you get in the postseason, you've earned it. You didn't give anything up. You've earned it. And the teams that get in may have earned it a little bit better than you. You could be the Dodgers. With 102 games today, maybe 105 by Sunday. You got to play one game for everything. So, I don't know, man. I would love, I've been saying it for a month on my podcast, Cash Considerations. I've been saying it to every show that I'm on and listening to. Give me Sale versus Cole for one game. Give me that as a baseball fan. I would like it to be in Fenway because I want the crowd eruption every time Sale strikes out one of those guys, because whatever that strikeout prop is, I'm betting over. There's no doubt. I'm betting Sale striking out a lot of Yankees. But if it's in Yankee Stadium, we'll hear the groans, and we will hear all of the again when he strikes out Judge on the same pitch over and over, 2-3 at bats. He's going to make Rizzo turn into a pretzel. Like there's gonna be some good stuff. So I don't know. I can't wait. I hope they get there, but if they don't, it's because Toronto or Seattle earned their spot, not because the Red Sox blew it.
I agree. I'm going to change gears here, and I have to ask you this because you've been there for 20 plus years. Our friends at Circa, when we're watching the NFL games or getting ready to on Sunday, they put out their college lines to their sharps, and they allow them, I think it's 2 or 3K max on these, and that enables Matt, Jeff, and them to get a feel for which side these are, and then move the line and release it to the public. One of the marquee games on Saturday is Alabama versus Ole Miss.
Yep.
Okay. Now, Ole Miss comes in with the Heisman favorite quarterback currently, Coral, whatever you want to call him. Lane Kiffin, we all know that story. And this Alabama team that just keeps on rolling. So Circa rolls out Alabama minus 20 with an under-over of 80. Okay. So basic math says initially they think Alabama wins 50-30.
Okay.
They get their first 10 max bets on Ole Miss plus 20. So their number that came out was 14.5. That's what they released to the public. And it's been 14.5, 15, maybe some 15.5, but it's still starting to trend back to Ole Miss. So 2 things, Dave. When you were back there, do you remember any of those times where I don't want to say you whiffed, because when I reached out to him, I says, hey, you didn't release a bad line. You just released a number that your shops were all on the other side. Now you have your initial 10, 20, 30K on Alabama side, and you're an Alabama fan. But bring us back to your days back then and where something like this might have happened.
I texted him too. I said, roll Tide. That's what I told him. I said that's, and we just kind of giggled. As an originator, both a bettor and a book, you put your opinion out there and you see what people say. And it's real easy to do when there are other numbers up. But the genius of what they do at Circa is doing it on Sunday when everybody's watching the NFL. They slide up all these numbers Sunday morning at 11 o'clock Pacific, 2 o'clock Eastern. It's available for anybody to bet. 3K sides, dime limits on totals. And let's put it up there, see where we're at. So, I mean, it's hard not to like Bama. Okay. I think the number, somebody asked me, I said 17. I don't know, 16.5. That's what I would have made it. Let them bet Ole Miss down from there. They put up 20 and let them bet it down from there. Now, when you put up the number as one of the first, as the only, pretty much, you move it aggressively. It's not like you move from 20 to 19.5. When you put it up and there ain't nothing up, you go from 20 to 17.5. And you go to a 17.5 they take, you go to maybe 16.5. And then, or 16, and then you take another bet and you're like, all right, just go to 14.5. So it's only 2 or 3 bets. That's the genius of it. By putting it out early. I never minded putting it out early as long as I didn't have to hear any shit about it afterward when it lost. But when it won, you had to, if you gave me shit about having this number and, well, how did you get so many bets on the other side? I wanted a bonus, or I wanted you to at least say thank you when I did do it right and we trapped all these guys on a bad number and we won all this extra money because we put up a good number. They never did that. So I was like, okay, we don't – that's the benefit of putting it out first. I don't know. Would it surprise you to see Ole Miss win? It would be an upset, but I mean, considering the stakes, I guess Alabama can get upset and lose. Would it surprise you to see Alabama win by 20? No, not at all. That's the beauty of this whole thing, of the sports gambling and of the lines and of the discussions. I don't know. The total's great too. You've seen the line movement. I mean, you put up 80, you know you're going to take an initial bet under because all the parallelograms and rhombuses that have their models and analytics, well, you got to bet under 80. Really? Do you? This game's probably going to have 100 points scored in it. Like they're going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. This is a fast break basketball game on grass. That's what this is. So I think I give them credit. I sent them another text, after the Roll Tide text. Like, I love what you guys are doing with that. That's awesome. And, I'll hopefully be down there on Saturday to watch a little bit of that game, while we're down there. But I don't know. I mean, you see these numbers, you just look at these screens. How does all the odds makers come up with the same number a few hours after Circa puts them up? I'm amazed that there's no other books or odds makers that go, you know what? Alabama should be 17. Why do we, I don't know. Nobody puts anything up different. It's amazing to me. That's where I always used to sit in the books and go, wow, be nice if everybody just, retailer just went to Walmart, walked through, check all their prices, and then go to their store and put up all the same things. Like now that's what it is. And that's this business. And it's homogenizing the same line. There's no flexibility to take bets on one side. It's different. It's not the book business that I kind of grew up doing. And listen, if I want you to bet the Steelers, I'm going to give you 7.5 at Green Bay. I want you to bet the Steelers because I want to need Green Bay. What am I going to do? I can't tell you what to bet, but I can give you a number that certain people can't resist. That used to be the business that I, kind of did and ran and gave an opinion about. And they don't do that anymore. They just look around and say, "Oh, everybody got 6.5. Better use 6.5." Okay.
And I try to tell that to everyone, that wants to listen. And we pay Don Best, we pay Sports Insight. Wager Talk has an amazing one-stop shopping for their free odds page.
Mm-hmm.
WagerTalk.com. Great job, guys. Great job. I'd love to give them props there. But it's Pinnacle. It was Chris, the originators. Then it's the copy and paste guys, and then everything moves from there. What Circa's trying to do is absolutely 100% amazing. It's amazing. We're getting ready for NFL Sunday kickoff at 1:00. You guys out west, they got sleep in their eyes. There's guys going to the window still in their pajamas. There's guys going to the window that have been up for 36 hours, right? And these guys are looking at their apps. These guys are calling, however they're doing. They're in line at the Circa, pounding Saturday's games, 100 hours away, 150 hours away.
Yeah, 6 days in advance. It's awesome because, like on Sundays in the book, once the games kick off at 10, there's really nothing to do, but there's a calm. Well, what they've done is now upset all of that. They've thrown off the timetable because I lived it for 2 years over at CG. I was like, man, what are they doing? Why are they going to put these numbers up right now? Because then the rush became, our kind of modus operandi changed. The odds makers had to have numbers on Sunday for college football instead of Monday because we used to wait until Monday to open them. Well, guess what? Circa opened them. They're getting all this business. We better at least have the numbers. Our bosses didn't go with opening the stuff on Sunday because everybody was watching NFL. So that's a difference of opinion people have. But we had to have the numbers because they had the numbers. So, yeah, I love it. Anything that kind of, puts the onus on the book guys, like, and lets you kind of be that artist or just be that responsible person or whatever, I'm in favor of. All this other crap that's automating this and putting this number up and all that other stuff, and it all looks the same. I don't like it. I mean, it's part of the business and I understand it, but I don't like it. We want to book games. We want to talk about numbers. I mean, we sat in Vegas in the book. We were doing the halftime numbers with 3 minutes to go, and they gave me 4 to 2 minute warning. Well, if they get this, what is the number? Well, it's this. Well, what if they don't? What if they miss the field goal? What if they don't get a field goal? Oh, well, then we got to go back to this. The discussions were exactly like the risk group discussions. And then, boom, the game goes to half, and we see the number. And, wow, they really like that side. They used it a little bit higher. It didn't deter Frankie, but, there was a couple times where we were like, geez, what are they thinking? Maybe we missed something. And you get that pause back and forth. So all that stuff, I think it's great. And I don't know, man, college football's there's so many like stories and compelling lines. I think that's what's been real fun for me, because it used to be such a laborious, like overreaching thing. Saturdays were always so much harder than Sundays for me because there's so many games and it's all day, all night. And I don't know what to make the New Mexico State San Jose State game. I don't know. I mean, 27. I just throw it to 24, 20. I don't know. And you kind of go back and forth and you put up a number and you don't take that many bets on it. You put up Alabama, Ole Miss, and you get bing, 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 bing. You get bets, the ticker's going. You got to move the number. Oh, we shot too high with this. It's fun. It's just a lot of fun.
I'm going to throw out two things. I'm going to save, obviously, the big game, hopefully, for tomorrow between obviously the Pats and Bucs. But you said something a few minutes ago, which we'll use as a lead in here and a close here. The Bengals opened up at 6.5 today. They're facing the Jags. I think you could go back from Monday to today, and there's not one or two people on social media, Twitter, wherever. I haven't seen the Jags anywhere, So you open that number at 6.5. What happens? Public takes it to 7, now to 7.5. I haven't seen many 8s out there. Okay. And our discussion, obviously, tomorrow, Dave, is why in holy hell did Vegas open up the Patriots? I mean, the Bucs at 5.5, because we talked already about this. If they wanted the Pats money, this number would have been 7.5, 8, and then you would have got the Pats money to drop it down to 7, maybe 6.5. You would have got the flow back and forth. Everyone would have been happy. But that's for tomorrow. Yep. So in you're behind the desk, you open up that line, Bengals minus 6.5, because you're going to get Bengal money leading right up to kickoff. So give us your breakdown, your thoughts on today's game, and what you think will happen. But I also want you to throw the other way to say, this is why we put this number out here. We want you to think that way. And here comes backdoor little Joe and Trevor Lawrence to steal the money.
Right. It's just, you just know it's going to happen. So you can't give away the store putting this thing over 7 at the beginning. And you put up 6.5 and you see, does anybody lay it? Like, it's still Cincinnati, right? It's the Bengals. Yes, they went to Pittsburgh and looked great, but I think a lot of teams are going to go to Pittsburgh and look great this season if the way things are going the way they're going. Jacksonville looks dismal. I mean, they don't look bad. They look dismal. And asking them to cover this number at home is hard enough. Now we get to go on the road. They've had a couple home games. Not too good. Until Jacksonville covers, which I think they have a highly likely chance of covering tonight. I really, really do. I would not bet them, but I think this game's probably going to end up, like you said, he'll be driving to get the cover late. Like, this isn't a blowout. This isn't one of those ones where we can turn it off after the third quarter because it's over. It's not like that in the NFL anymore. It used to be. It happens occasionally, but not really. The point spread has added a lot of stuff. The NFL with the flags and everything else. No one's out of a game anymore. I don't think Jacksonville's going to be out of it, but I wouldn't bet them. I would bet Cincinnati if it could get less than 7, if it's 7 or less. Now it's at that 7.5 that gives you that pause number. It gives you that, geez, I should probably take the dog. You know, I'll hear people, this is the first leg of every teaser. This is the first leg of every money line parlay. This is just like Carolina was last week, except Carolina was at Houston. Jacksonville's going to have a tough time all season. But this is one of those games in the book you just know. You just know. Watch all these people bet. This will be an 85 to 90%er, which means 85 to 90% of the bets will be on the Bengals. Now, the books can change that. Just go to 8.5. It's easy. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. So I think they're okay with that position. Always keep that in mind. The book's okay. They're not trying to get even action on both sides all the time. There's times you can. There's times you can't. There's definitely, unless you see a number go to 8.5 tonight, ain't nobody trying to get no money on Jacksonville right now. They're okay with the position. So just, again, as you bet Cincinnati, keep that in mind. You're right. You just said it. You could see them coming down the field going for that backdoor cover. They're down 10. They're down 13. And you just, boom, 18 seconds left. Lawrence hits somebody in the corner for a touchdown or runs it in. And you go, they lost by 6. They weren't even within 6 the whole game. You just see it.
And if you really break down these numbers, okay, your team total for Jacksonville is 17.5 under, okay? You're looking at the Bengals in that 20. Actually, let me get the exact number for you. I think they were at 27.5. Let me just.
27.5, 17.5. That adds up to 46. That's probably it.
Okay.
Or 45, yeah. 28.5.
We get we're opened up at actually that's opened at 46, still at 46.
Yeah.
So your team totals 27.5 under minus 115 and 18.5 over minus 121. So your initial thought process here, Dave, is what you just said, 27-17. If I'm trying to explain anyone on the Jacksonville today, I'm trying to say this. The key to this game, very simply, is this. Can Jacksonville get over 17 points? So you just had the perfect scenario. 27-17. People are at South Point right now in line, ready to cash their ticket. And here comes Lawrence to LaVisca or James Robinson or who the hell knows, Marvin Jones, and all of a sudden it's confetti time.
Yep. Yeah, no, there's no doubt. I don't know. I mean, of all the things that are going to be on, I'll be on, Sirius XM and Sports Grid and all this stuff. So I'll have it on, but I'm not going to be watching. I'm going to be watching the baseball. I mean, the baseball. Give me meaningful baseball games over regular season anything. I always used to say this in the book when trying to pick the TVs with the sound. Playoffs trumps everything. We got a couple playoff-type baseball games today. Jacksonville, Cincinnati, it'll be up, but we won't have sound on it. Unless somebody's doing something or something crazy's happening, we'll be listening to baseball tonight. And that's what I'll be doing. Be very, very cautious as you go to start the football betting week with Jacksonville, Cincinnati tonight. And it is a good lead until tomorrow because this is going to be a great discussion between me and you with all the college games. I mean, there's college games on Friday that's going to be pretty interesting. That Iowa-Maryland game is fascinating to me, and it's under the radar, but another good betting opportunity. And then, of course, the NFL, we've got a few games. There's some games in the morning. Nobody really, I don't know. We'll find something to talk about there. The afternoon slate is amazing. And then, there's that little game, Sunday Night Football. We'll have a few things to talk about then. Maybe, I don't know. kind of some people interested in that back in your neck of the woods.
And I'll just throw one more fly in the ointment. Next Sunday, London, they start.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
London it is.
No, no. Wait a second. Is that for who's playing?
I think it's like the Jets and Falcons, so you can sleep in.
It is the Jets and Falcons. Oh, my goodness. What the hell? They send the Jets. That's all we got. We're sending the Jets and the Falcons and saying to Europe, hey, we got this great game. It's called football. It's not your football. It's our football. But this is what it looks like. Ain't nobody going to want to watch it anymore after that. Come on.
They're hoping that the Jets stay in London.
Oh, man. I guess so. Oh, goodness gracious. Jets in Atlanta, 6:30 Pacific start, 6:30 a.m. We used to have to bring in a writer in a soup special just for that. You want to talk about throwing a fly in the ointment. Try to tell somebody who's used to starting at 7 that they got to start at 5:30 because there's a football game. And then they come in and write one $20 bet because somebody was walking by and goes, oh, you guys are open for another game? Yes. And you write one bet. It's brutal. Places like at South Point, at least, they're open 24/7. Same with Circa. So it's another operating day. But, man, for books that aren't open, that was a tough start.
I figured South Point would just call in Paulie and Mitch and say, hey, guys, you're used to coming in here at that hour. You want to write a few tickets?
Right.
All right, listen, I'm going to let you close. Before you close and tell everyone where they can follow you, all of it. I mean, I got the small stuff down here. You can give them the grids, the maps, the pushing the odds, the MLB network. But I'm not letting you off the hook. Yankees Toronto tonight, Kluber versus Ray. Ray opened up minus 150, now 142. Who wins?
Oh, man. Wow. Got to be Ray, right? Like, this is the culmination of the whole season for him. Could win a Cy Young. Like, I mean, this is it. But Kluber's got that, man, that old guy warrior mentality. That old man strength we always talk about. He's probably going to be dealing. Who would say normally under in this matchup, right? Like with Toronto and the Yankees and the bashers that they have, the home runs that they hit. But I mean, the total is 8.5.
Yep.
In Toronto, American League Park. First thought there is under. I would have used 8. I see some places may have opened 8. I would have used 8 and let you bet the juice there over. I think the Rays win. I do. I think the Rays win. The Red Sox better win today too. Minus 200. In October or in September against Baltimore. They better win that. And then you got this. I mean, like, look at the Dodgers. They got a bullpen day today. Gonsolin, $2. Oh, baseball's great. Oh, my goodness. Baumgartner's going to try to beat the Giants. $2 dog. Whew. Baseball's incredible, JD. As far as me, you can find me. So we started a YouTube channel. All this stuff is available on YouTube. They're watching this show. I got a great team of kids that are cutting clips from different shows and putting it on there as well. So hopefully they'll be able to cut this up and maybe put it on there. I don't know. But it's called Cash Considerations, where me and Newbie and Carl get together every week and do a show, and then the kids cut it up and we put it out. We're also doing a show called 8 in the Box. It's on there as well. Me and B. Howe, Brad Howe. He's in West Virginia. I'm in Vegas. Does a great job. At some point, hopefully you can find him. You can get him and see if he'll do a show. He's a great dude. Then every day, Sports Grid at Sirius XM from 4 to 7 Pacific, 7 to 10 Eastern at night. I do shows with a couple different people, different hosts every day. And then the MLB Network. They call it, I don't even know, correspond. I don't even know what it's called, but I get to go on there. We talk about the games. We talk about picks and stuff like that. And, between that and then, later today, I'll be on with Matt Peralt, Pushing the Odds. And there's a lot of those shows and stuff throughout the week. Just follow me on Twitter at SportsBKConsig for Sportsbook Consigliere. This Vegas Dave guy ruined it. I can't be Dave in Vegas and stuff like that. So, we read the ECSI thing every single week on the show, and it gets the guest. We had a great guest. He's called his Twitter handle's Beating the Bookie, where, he's just giving picks, and he's a great dude. Twitter follows outstanding. I read the copy for the ECSI spot, and he starts dying laughing and goes, he's right. That Vegas Dave guy's a real schmuck or something. And we just start every single week with every guest. So, thank you for having me on Breakfast Bankroll, and I'm sure we're going to have another exciting discussion tomorrow.
And I just want to quickly thank Kevin Medeiros, Marty Lowe, Billy Hewlin. They all said the same thing. Great show. And boy, that Dave Sharapan, so insightful. Glad you had him on. So again, even the ECSI followers know, who the real Vegas Dave is. And you're just a breath of fresh air when we finally can connect. And rumor has it that we might play this back again tomorrow. So,
I think we, your people, my people will talk, and we're going to try to do that again. I think we're trying to find the sweet spot where we can get this on the regular at least once a week, So once we get that day settled, whenever it's going to be, we're going to have to kick around a few things, including those circuit contest picks, which people might want to know. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Hey, what a kick in the you-know-what. 4-0 last week, and then, of course, we had the Beagles plus the 3 and a hook. And I knew first quarter, thanks for playing. And hats off. I forget his handle, but goddamn, 15-0. I mean,
it's ridiculous.
Here we're whistling around at 10-5. Hey, we're doing okay.
Yeah.
And then there's a bolt, a handful with one loss, and I think 48th. I saw someone put up there with 4 losses. So if we would have got the sweep, at least we would have been in the discussion. Not that you're in the quarter discussion, but maybe the year-end thing.
I don't even look at the standings. When I was in it, I never looked at the standings because it was too frustrating, because you could be sitting 11-4 right now, which is phenomenal, and include a 5-0 week with 3-2 and a couple 4-1s, and you're 4 back. like what? A guy is perfect? You're perfect? What are you talking about? So it used to. The first year I did it, and we competed all the way down to the last week, I got a little it's just overwhelming. It's stressful. It's like, I can't believe it. What am I doing wrong? You're not. You're picking at 62%. You're not doing anything wrong. We ended up with 52.5 points that year. 62%. And it felt like a letdown. So what did we do the next year? We picked at 61%. The guy that won picked at 72. 72. So all you can control is what you pick and your record. You can't control these other guys. So hats off to them as well. Keep picking winners. Just hang around long enough to get in that money and then have a shot at changing your life with that winner. That's all.
And out of the 3 weeks, we have 2 4-1 weeks, and unfortunately, sandwiched in between was a 2-3 where we lose by 2 hooks, and we know that's part of the business, and it is what it is. But again, so many ideas, so many thoughts. Can't thank you enough. Can't wait to hopefully tomorrow we're going to run this back to everyone listening here. Again, if you're not following Dave, geez, jump on Twitter at Sportsbook Consig, the Cash Consideration Show. Go follow him and subscribe on his YouTube channels. Never miss a beat. I mean, the guy's everywhere, and he is what he is. He is the real Vegas Dave, and that is what
Jeff.
I would call him that. But again, can't wait. And listen, anyone wagering today, please wager with your head, not your heart. If you have a problem, just pick up that phone. There's an 800 number. There's people here that really care, that want to help. Good luck with your wagers today, and everyone have a blessed day today. Cash some tickets, and we will see you in the morning.